Manila, you're muted.
I'm muted and Ted dropped off. How about that?
Success.
It's Tuesday, right? It's only Tuesday.
It's muted Tuesday.
It's muted Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. I'm Manila Chan. Ted Rall was there bopping around. There he is.
He's back.
There be Ted.
I can't hear anything.
You can't. It was me. I was muted.
Oh. Well, you looked great while you were.
There you are. Well, thank you. I'm working
Although, wait,
on getting.
your camera looks strange.
Well, I had to uninstall the thing because I had the other camera installed, and now I got to reinstall this one, and so I'm still playing with the colors on the old one. So I don't know. Is it dark? It looks dark to me.
Yeah, you look. You don't look Trekkie like before, and you don't
But
look
it's just like
Caucasian. You look more Filipino, maybe.
So am I darker than normal? Is that what that is?
Yeah, let me check my.
The guy.
Let me check my my race guide here.
I don't know. I'm trying to.
Let's see. Oh, there you are. Yeah,
which yellow am I?
Yeah, there you go. You're somewhere in there.
It looks different on like the camera hub versus the Rumble feed, and so I'm like, damn it, this is what happens when you mess with something that was totally fine because I thought I was upgrading. But as we're going to talk about, Ted, with these upgrades to AI, with AI, because the other camera had like AI technology.
This camera's too dark. What it is
no, this is the old one.
It's oversaturated and too dark.
Yeah, this is the old one. I just have to play with the settings to get it back to where it used to be because the digital control board it comes with had to be reset because it was like working with that 4K camera with AI and whatever. But anyway, that perfectly dovetails with what we're going to talk about on the show today about like AI getting into everything and actually destroying everything. So yeah, it fits perfectly. I'll work on the color, I guess, because I needed to see what the live feed looked like.
Yeah, true.
There's no way for me to know until we're live. So here we are. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe and all of that, and share our content so we can spread to the masses like STDs at your grandmother's nursing home.
That's such an appealing thought.
It's very true, though, Ted, because they're the only people having sex.
Well, here's a question for you, Manila, before we related to that. So, if you were in a nursing home, widowed at the age of 85, would you rather be still hitting it sexually, but riddled with STIs, or like devoid of companionship, no physical fun in that respect, but no STIs? What would you take? You want to be having fun and bumpy?
Can I have
nothing fatal, nothing like AIDS or anything like that.
Okay. But can I have the STDs only like in that late stage in life?
Yeah, it would only be then. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think
let's just say it's like stuff like herpes and gonorrhea, but nothing like fatal.
I think I would take that rather than not have companionship. Because it's like the last part of your life.
Yeah, who cares? Who gives a shit?
Like, who cares?
You take some Valtrex and you're like, whatever.
This is the last leg of life. I'm just going to live it up. I was pretty careful, fairly careful growing up. So, like, why not at the end of life be like, fuck it. But just, I'm going to get drunk every day.
That's my take, too.
Would you I would get drunk every day. Remember we talked about this about
rock and
Granny,
roll every day and party all night long. Yeah.
Granny, what state was she in that she was suing to force the nursing home to allow them to drink?
Yeah.
Because I would be that Granny. Yeah, good for her. I would be that Granny for sure.
She's awesome. I love her.
I would interview her.
Yeah, well, hey, we should bring her on.
I would have her on the show because seriously, like you're at the later stages.
Every night and party every day.
Why not? She wants to drink. She wants to party in her last leg of life. Let her.
Yeah.
Let her. I can't believe nursing homes don't let people.
That's like the thing. That's like the lung cancer patients who like they want to smoke. It's like, why not?
Why not? Let them.
Yeah.
Like if it's terminal and they're
Just to keep
going
them away from the
anyway.
oxygen tank, but otherwise
Right.
it's fine, yeah.
Right, as long as granny's, like, medication isn't the kind that can be, like, screwed up by alcohol,
Right, sure. Mhm.
let her. Who cares? Alright. With that, this is Tuesday on the TMI show. It's yeah, if you're new, we're all over the place. It is very ADD, but we have a lot of fun, and you might learn a thing or two, especially about, like, poops and STDs.
Yeah, we do a
And
lot of there's a lot of fecal related material here.
somebody asked,
I
I
feel
think
like
I
maybe
saw
we haven't been, we did jizz. We don't really do a lot of urinary coverage here.
I
I
know,
think
we gotta look about
Big
UTI
P is
tract.
getting pissed at us.
Yeah, pun intended.
Mhm.
I saw somebody in the Rumble chat, I think they were questioning about old people having sex, and legitimately look this up. Like, STDs are on the STIs,
Oh
as they call
yeah,
it now,
no.
on the
Yeah.
rise at nursing homes, and
This is a
apparently
long-standing trend. It's been going on for like 20
yeah,
years. Mhm.
apparently the old folks home, the old folks retirement village are the only places that Americans are having sex.
True.
It's true. Look it up. You think we're joking. I mean, we joke about it, but it's the truth. So there you go.
Hmm. True.
All right. So first up, I know Ted has feelings about this one because Ted actually he likes to ride his bike every day. But e-bikes, as you guys know, were supposed to save the commute. Now states are trying to save the riders. Here's what we mean, because it's a like abortion and like a lot of other things, it's a patchwork quilt of laws. I think, Ted, I think it's fair to say in any big metropolitan city, these e-bikes or like personal, scooters or whatever, these personal mobile device, like physical mobile, I guess you call them mobile devices,
A mobile
transport
device is like a
devices.
phone.
I know, a mobile transport device. I don't know.
Can we
Um,
just say it's an e-bike?
well, there's scooters too, so they're not all
Okay.
bikes,
All right. All right, all right.
but they're ubiquitous. I would say in every
They call
major
it a
American city.
micro mobility device.
Mobility, not mobile, mobility device. There it is.
Mm.
But they're
I just
ubiquitous,
rolls
right?
off
And
the tongue. Hmm.
they're in every major American city, and this is causing huge problems. So e-bikes have been sold as one of those rare modern inventions that seemingly solves everything at once. Cheaper than a car, cleaner than a car, easier than a bicycle, and perfect for dodging traffic. One problem though, people keep getting hurt on them. Oh, just little problem, Ted. Just little brain trauma. What's the big
Little
deal?
brain trauma never hurt anyone.
A little TBI. Emergency room visits involving e-bikes, e-scooters, and other so-called micro mobility devices have exploded in recent years, prompting states and cities to start treating some of these machines less like bicycles and more like motor vehicles that they increasingly resemble. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, emergency departments treated an estimated 149,100 micromobility injuries in 2024. That's up from just over 37,000 in 2017. E-bikes alone accounted for an estimated 59,000 ER visits in 2024, compared with an annual average of roughly 6,300 between 2017 and 2021. So just think about that, Tad. 6,000 in the late 20 teens into the COVID era.
Mhm.
We are now at roughly 60,000, so tenfold,
Well,
right?
there's a lot more
6,000
of
to
these
60.
devices, right? I mean, it's a
Right.
lot.
So
I
there you
mean,
go.
people didn't buy them back then, so yeah.
Right. And the consequences are not limited to scraped knees. CPSC has identified 310 deaths associated with e-bikes between 17 and 14. 2017, that is, and 2014, with motor vehicle collisions. So e-bike versus car. I actually have a girlfriend, like sadly, who lost her 15-year-old son to an e-bike versus car incident back home. Really awful. It haunted me for a long time. But yeah, so that just happened last year. So I know a victim of one, um, where the collisions and the riders lose control. That's kind of what happens, and they have collisions with cars, and the e-bike loses. A study published in JAMA Surgery paints an equally ugly picture. Researchers estimated that e-bike injuries increased 30-fold between 2017 and 2022, while hospitalizations rose 43-fold. The number of head injuries was approximately 49 times higher in 2022 than it was in 2017. Helmets apparently remain an optional accessory, or, using common sense. Only about 44% of injured e-bike riders in this study were wearing one. The riders without helmets had nearly twice the odds of suffering a pretty bad head injury. Duh. Part of the problem may be that federal law still largely treats e-bikes as consumer products rather than conventional motor vehicles. The traditional federal definition generally covers pedal-equipped electronic bicycles with motors below 750 watts and motor-only speeds below 20 miles an hour. But the marketplace has evolved considerably since that definition was written more than 20 years ago. Some machines, now marketed as e-bikes, look and perform a lot more like lightweight motorcycles, and high-powered models or modified bikes, mod bikes as they call it, can travel far faster than the speeds people normally associate with bicycles. States are beginning to notice. New Jersey now requires most e-bike operators to be at least 15 years old, possess either a driver's license or special e-bike license, and register their bike with the state. High-powered motorized bicycles must also carry insurance. Utah this year imposed a helmet requirement on riders younger than 21 and requires riders ages 8 to 15 either to ride under adult supervision or complete an e-bike safety course. Vehicles exceeding certain power or speed limits are instead treated as electronic motorcycles. New York City, this is for you, Ted, has taken another approach, imposing a 15 mile per hour speed limit on e-bikes and scooters. I don't know how Mamdani is going to enforce this. More jurisdictions are considering similar restrictions, and therein lies the dilemma. E-bikes remain an inexpensive, relatively clean, and remarkably practical transportation option, particularly in congested cities like New York, where another SUV is not exactly what the streets are begging for, but the distinction between bicycle with a little electric assistance and motorcycle wearing bicycle pedals as a disguise has become increasingly difficult to ignore. Government regulation may have been slow to catch up with technology, as it always is. I don't know why Ted is off the screen, but there you are, Ted. So I'm shocked at the numbers. Again, I had a girlfriend who lost her 15-year-old in a e-bike versus car. Kid lost control apparently, and the rest is history. And she's still grieving a son a year later, who should be starting school. But what do you think about some of these states or municipalities who are trying to impose some kind of law, but they're like, obviously there's no federal law behind this. So what do you do? Like there's 8 gazillion Uber Eats drivers or riders out there on these motorized bikes.
True.
They're going to be replaced obviously with the little motorized car, the little motorized delivery box that I showed the other day. But right now they're out there. There's thousands of these people in major cities like DC and in New York City. What do we do?
Listen, this is not complicated. So there was a word for something called an e-bike 30, 40 years ago was basically a moped. It's basically the same thing. It's the method of power isn't that important. To answer your question before about like how New York City is imposing the 15 mile an hour limit, the rideshare program, which is called City Bike, it's misnamed because it's actually run by Lyft, but it originally was started by Citibank. But all the major cities down there in DC, you guys have one. I forget what it's called. But all the bikes. But anyway, they throttle your speed at 15 miles an hour. I got to say, it's very frustrating. As a bicyclist, I'm typically more about 25 miles an hour. And
what?
so, Yeah, I mean, even on a regular bike, right? So 15 is like, it's annoying. The thing is, if you look at cities like, there are lots of cities around the world, um, a lot of them in Asia, where there are a lot of moped.
Okay.
Mopeds are a major form of transportation. Taipei is a great example. And so what they've done is they've completely reconfigured the streets and the traffic systems to allow for that. For example, in
Okay.
Taipei, when there's a stop signal, all the cars stop further away from the intersection. There's a line where they have to stop, and then all the motorcycles and mopeds, they have a space ahead of the cars. So when the light turns red, they all gather up in front of the cars, and
Oh,
then
okay.
when the light turns green for them first, they're off to the races, and then there's a delay before the cars can go, right? And so
Right.
the idea is they're all sharing the same streets, but they're not.
They get a little bit of a head start.
They get a head start and they're on their own. Also, helmets are like standard and enforced by law in most cities around the world. Like in Paris. Also, in New York, one of the big mistakes they've made is they haven't distinguished between the bike paths that are used for conventional bicycles, mechanical bicycles, and e-bikes. And I'm sorry, they don't move at the same speed. And whenever you have a mixture of speeds of vehicles on the road, you have danger. So, if you have normal bicyclists who are doing, let's say, typically they're not like me, most of them, they're going like 10 miles an hour, and you have the typical e-bike going 20 miles an hour. And I mean, they don't throttle the ones that are owned by individual, like food delivery guys. I mean, of course, you have these guys zooming past other people. There's going to be collisions, right? It's best if they're all kind of moving the same speed. So they should be
Mm.
separated. They should be segregated. So, all right. So what do we do, right? First of all, head injuries are your number one problem. So vigorous enforcement of helmets. Full transparency, I never wear a helmet. Okay, I fucking hate them. And like I'm like those motorcycle guys who are like born free. I want to feel
Right.
the wind through my hair.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm that guy. Okay. That said, just because I like to do something doesn't mean I should do something. And so if there were cops who were ticketing everybody ferociously for not wearing helmets, believe me, I'd start wearing my helmet. Okay. And that's what
Mm.
everyone else would have to do too. So I think that basically you have two or three main things. Helmet enforcement. You got to have, I don't think throttling the bikes is really the answer. I think you have to
That's
have
Mamdani's answer.
separate categories. You have to have a bike lane. So you separate pedestrians from normal bicyclists from e-bicyclists. They're from cars. They're all different. So
Yeah.
pedestrians are on the sidewalk. No bicycles on the sidewalk. Bicycles
Yeah.
have their own lane. E-bikes have a lane next to them. They're all segregated from vehicular traffic. You're going to eliminate the vast majority of your collisions here.
Well, you're
I
gonna eat
mean,
away at I mean, especially in New York City, if you do that, Ted, you're gonna eat away at least at another travel lane for cars.
sure, well, not necessarily. Because you're already taking away one lane for. I mean, you're taking away like a third of a lane currently for the normal bicycles on a lot of streets. So you just need another third, right? You're kind of like taking it
Yeah, and I
away.
mean, you can't keep eating away at inches off of, the
Well,
roadway
you can
before you
because
take
like
away a
with
whole lane.
but the thing is, there's more people on e-bikes, and that means there's fewer people in cars. So you can. The thing
I
is,
mean, we'll see what the
e-bikes. Look,
numbers
e-bikes are
they get
fantastic.
offset.
They're the best way to get around a city,
Again,
like
New York
especially a
City for
city
sure.
like San Francisco with hills. I mean, you don't really need e-bikes. Regular bikes are fine in a flat city like New York City, but like let me tell you, if you're dealing with like, a hilly
Hills?
city,
Oh
yeah,
god, no.
DC's flat. I've used the regular
Yeah,
bike share program
I use
there.
the regular well, I'm just too lazy, I use the
DC,
scooters. I
by the
like
way,
standing.
does a better job because it has wider streets.
Yeah,
It also has clear segregation between the bike lane and the car lanes. It's got like usually like a cement median.
yeah.
That's not true in New York. In New York, you got nothing but paint on the ground. So, and not to mention, like, people are constantly cutting in front of you when you're biking in the bike lane. They step out off the curb in front of you. You've got to be fucking sharp in New York
Well,
to
in New York
avoid
City.
personal
New
injury.
York City is its own animal, but I would say everywhere else, like, it's a little bit different, and Sir Bikes a Lot, thank you, 2 donations from Sir Bikes a Lot. He says, uh, "We have this problem is that we built places far apart, and we can't afford to use a car. Building bike lanes are DEI communism. So why are they complaining? They're getting what they wanted." And he also says, "Not wearing helmets isn't the problem, Ted. Not having access to safe infrastructure is. 98% of the Dutch don't wear one, and it's the safest place to ride a bicycle."
I've driven and I have ridden a bicycle in pouring rain in Amsterdam. That said, he's right. It's very, very safe.
Oh,
But also the Dutch have all this infrastructure. Now, I don't know how they're dealing with e-bikes. Sir Bikes a Lot, e-bikes are, as you know, are very, very different from normal bikes. And any tard can go really fast on one of these things.
well,
And
that's the
and there's no
problem.
training required. You don't have to be licensed or anything. Any asshole can buy one. And the problem is every asshole is buying one. I mean, in Amsterdam, the last time I was there were no e-bikes. So it's like,
Right.
it was just normal bicyclists. And I don't really, okay, I shouldn't say this, but I really don't feel like I feel like if you're reasonably competent, you don't really need a helmet to ride a normal bike, especially one of the little, Dutch ones with a little basket in front for your kitten, like ding ding. But like, but for an e-bike, you kind of really do, because they can go 30, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And
that's
like, you've
not
got
safe,
no
man.
protection whatsoever. And if you mix it up with a car, things are going to get ugly. I mean, you got no
Yeah.
protection on a regular bike, but at least you have a bike lane to protect you.
Yeah, the
And also, you're
infrastructure
not
helps for
going
sure.
that fast, right? So like, if something goes wrong, it's not going wrong that fast, usually. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
I don't
people
think this is
die
a
on
problem that's
bikes, but
this isn't going away, obviously, cars versus e-bikes. I think e-bikes are gonna continue to grow in popularity. Their prices are coming down on them, and more people are finding that it's just an easier way to commute around, even if it's local, right? Maybe you're not commuting to work on an e-bike, but maybe you need to make a run to the grocery store to
yeah,
pick up
yeah,
a
you
couple
just like
things or
get some
whatever.
milk or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, like, people are so more I'm seeing them more and more now in the
it's the
burbs.
new moped. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Mopeds are
So I
great
think
too.
I don't know.
They get like
Something's
100
gotta
miles
be
per gallon. They're fantastic.
100 miles a gallon?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Alright, well, I always wanted one of those
That's
because,
why
like,
people in the
I
third world
saw
always use mopeds.
I would see, like, in like, old European movies, like, cute girls riding in their cute little outfits on their little moped, and I always thought, "That's so cute," and they're parking their mopeds on the sidewalk, right? Like, you see that in Europe, and you're like, "That's cool," and they're designed really cute, so I thought, "Oh, one day I would like one," and then I came around to seeing how, as a reporter, you report on, you just kinda start out doing accident scenes, right? Like,
Oh
that's
yeah.
kind of the way it is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and when you see these things and you're kind of like,
Scary.
"Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. No, this is not Europe. This is America. Oh, drivers are different. Not doing this. I'm gonna not do I'm gonna save it for the movies. I'll enjoy it, let the European cute girls ride on the cobblestone streets in Europe.
Yeah, you
Not
can. You're
here.
you're like, I'm not Amelie.
I'm
Full
not Amelie."
transparency. I lost a good friend. 15 years when we were both 15 years old. He was riding his moped. In fairness, it had nothing to do with it. It wasn't his fault. Some
Europe or
asshole.
here?
Yeah, in Centerville, Ohio, and
Oh.
some fucking asshole ran a stop sign in the burbs and ran over him. Um, you know.
Oh.
So
Oh,
yeah.
how awful. And Nerd, thank you for your comment. Nerd says, based on my camera, I guess maybe it's adjusted by now, but he says, "We'll call your cam TMI Noir." Well, it's not anymore, right? It doesn't look all creepy,
No, it's not
weird,
quite that bad, but it's still kind of darkish. Yeah.
it's still darkish. Okay, I'm gonna tweak it throughout, so I'll take a look. And Alexandria Black on YouTube says there are twice as many bikes stolen in Amsterdam than bikes that exist there.
What? Wait,
How? Wait, how?
how does that even? I don't even understand how
How's
that's
that
possible.
you could steal more bikes than exist.
Maybe
Here?
people have to buy 2-3 bikes a year to replace the ones that
I
are being stolen.
don't know. Or maybe she means more bikes than bikes exist here in the US, maybe.
I don't even
No,
under
that can't
it's
be right
something.
because that can't be right because we're 340 million people. Well, I don't know, but I know there's a lot of freaking bikes in Amsterdam.
Yeah, yeah, there
All
are.
right, let's go to the next topic, and I'm gonna play with my camera. The same bikes getting stolen. That could be.
Over
So,
and
like
over and
so what,
over
like, let's
from
say
each
I steal
other.
Ted's bike. Yeah, I steal Ted's bike, but Ted had already stolen that bike from Robbie. Ted reports the bike stolen, and I stole
Right.
it, but it's really Robbie's bike in the first place, so it's reported stolen twice, the same one bike.
That's, I guess, possible. Did you Jaws?
I have not. I'm about to
All
do
right,
that
you
now,
need to
but
Jaws. Don't
that's
forget to
pretty funny.
de-Jaws. All right.
That's funny.
All right. Amazon began with selling books online. 3 decades later, investigators say that Amazon is now buying books again, cutting off their spines, scanning their pages to train AI, and destroying what remains. A new investigation by 404 Media traced a shipment of nearly 1,000 used and rare books bought through the online book selling company Biblio. Reporters decided to stick an Apple AirTag inside one of the books. So obviously they must have been tipped off here, and followed the shipment across the country. Its final stop, an Amazon warehouse in northern Vegas, connected to an operation known internally as VGT3. Workers at VGT3 said that enormous shipments of books arrived there to be scanned. The bindings are then chopped off so that the pages can move rapidly through high-speed scanners, destroying the physical books. Amazon confirmed that this is true, that they buy books through commercial channels to develop and improve its products and services, but declined to say exactly how many books it has bought. I bet more than 2. Which AI products use the resulting data, or whether rare and scarce books are scanned before they are destroyed. So this is not at a small scale. Booksellers report that unusually large orders headed to the same Vegas facility as far back as 2024, including dozens of university press titles ordered at once. Amazon is hardly the only company doing this. Court records show that Anthropic previously bought millions of physical books, including a few of mine, for a program known as Project Panama, removing their bindings, scanning the pages, and throwing away the originals while building a digital library for AI development. So older books offer something technology companies desperately need: large quantities of professionally edited, human-written material created before generative AI began slopping the web. Rare, obscure, and out-of-print books also might contain info that simply doesn't exist online. Well, I guarantee you it does. That's also what has librarians and booksellers concerned. University of Virginia librarian Leo S. Lowe warns that the very qualities that make older books valuable for AI training also make them rare. An out-of-print book, annotated copy, or unusual edition can disappear permanently if nobody bothers to check what they're feeding into the scanner first. And physically destroying the books isn't technologically necessary. The Internet Archive digitizes them without cutting off their bindings. Destructive scanning is simply faster and easier to automate. So companies are racing to build machines capable of preserving and reproducing humanity's accumulated knowledge while destroying the physical objects that preserved that knowledge in the first place.
Okay. You know
Makes
what?
me sad.
The worst thing about that is that it's a waste because I'm using the Library of Congress to train Fang using books that are published between 1800 and 1920, specifically journalism books for newspapers and magazine editing.
Mm.
And they have an API. So you're able to log in. She's able to go in and she can scan the PDFs that are there. You don't have to destroy the books. They're being lazy.
They're saying, yeah, they're being lazy. They want to do it at scale, and they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to do what the Internet Archive is doing. I do think this should probably be an illegal practice. The books should be at bare minimum, they should be scanned and preserved, right, into a
I
database.
know.
But really,
Like
truly,
rare books?
they're not even. Yeah, rare books are being chopped up and thrown away. That's an
Right?
outrage. They should be donated to libraries, right? Like
Yeah.
afterwards, right?
Like this is what a horrific. Like I mean, I think.
By the way, it's also
People
copyright
like books.
theft. I mean, a lot of these even rare old. I mean,
Well,
a
that's
lot of
what
older.
Sarah Silverman was suing about, right? When they
Yeah.
started.
Well, I'm a
Stealing
plaintiff
her
in the
content.
Anthropic case.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's why
There
they
are
didn't want to.
many,
They didn't want to.
many plaintiffs.
You were depersoned in ChatGPT only until recently.
True.
So that's a move in the right direction. But it's so tragic to me. And look, I always think of this Seinfeld episode. I forget. George, I think George wanted a book back from a woman he was dating, and he was trying to convince Jerry to go get it. And Jerry's joke was, well, did you read the book? Well, yeah, I did. So what do you want it back for? He's like, because it's my book. And Jerry's like, I don't understand why people want to go get these, keep these books as if there's some sort of trophy. And that's always kind of stuck in my head because I'm like, I keep my books too. And
Most people do. I think you know what it is. I think it starts with childhood. As a kid, you don't have that many books. And I don't know about you, but I reread a lot of my books.
I have too.
But when you're an
I'll
adult,
go back and look at something.
you're an adult,
you know,
you're
like
thinking like,
dog
I loved this book. Who knows? I think subconsciously you're thinking, I might want to reread this someday. Very few people who are really avid readers reread old books because there's always some book a newer book that you'd rather read instead. So it's kind of like I've taken to like with Stantis. Stantis and I share similar tastes in books. And so when I'm done with a book that I know he would enjoy, and he does the same thing, I throw it into the Stantis box. And then when the Stantis box is full, I ship it off to him in Alabama. And he does the same thing for me. So we're constantly getting new books.
Trading books.
Yeah, we're trading books. And then also I believe in donating them to public libraries and stuff like that. Also, if I read a book and I think a friend might enjoy it, I will more likely than not give them the book when I'm done. And I mean, obviously I still have plenty of books. You can see behind me, and this is hardly all the ones I have.
Me too.
But I'm still I think people have this sort of the trophy thing is true, right? Like I read it and it's like a college professor, look, I read it and now it's on my shelf. But it's also kind of I do find myself referring to them sometimes where I'm writing a column and I'm like, hey, there was this thing I read in a book as opposed to online, and I want to go and refer to it and quote it. And the only way I can do that is if I have it,
And because I don't tend to dog ear I try to keep my books pristine and nice. And I'll put a little sticky note in them, or I'll put, tear a little piece of paper and stick it in there, and I'll write my note to myself or whatever. And those are the books I tend to keep handy, right? Like, I don't know. I have the Chicago manuscript style behind me or whatever, right? Manual stuff I know.
Style. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one, the one I know I'll reference or whatever because I need to do stuff. But then there's stuff like The Grapes of Wrath, which Ted, by the way, it was an ill-gotten gain on my part. I'm not going to say how I got it, but it was a first edition.
Really?
Yeah. And that's stored away. I mean, it's ancient. It doesn't have its dust jacket. I don't think it ever did because it's a first edition, but it's
what are you talking about?
away.
First editions had dust jackets.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
No. Well, this one doesn't have 100%. It. So
in fact, the ones first editions with the dust jacket are the ones that are worth the most.
Yeah, I'm sure. But this is it's some of the old books that I've kept with me through life, and this is something I acquired, we'll say, in my latter years in high school. I won't say how.
You stole from the school library.
No, it was not from the school library.
From the classroom?
No, it was not from anything from the school.
Huh. You stole from a friend.
I'm not saying I stole. No one I knew personally. So, but anyway, it's a first edition Grapes of Wrath. So I have this precious book that is stored in a box in my garage of like these older literary works and not like useful, things that I would, use for journalism, but it's there because it's a trophy. And to think, because nobody's checking at Amazon, right? Like at this warehouse or whatever where they're running the AI
I wonder
reader
if any of the
machine.
employees are like, oh, I'm going to take this when it's done.
I mean, they should, but no. The thing is,
Although it's all chopped up by then.
nobody's checking if the book is one of these rare editions. That's the thing. No one's just double checking. Like you open the page. They're just gutting the back like a fish. They're just fucking gutting the thing. So all of these like rare, unusual, hard to find, maybe it's even a collector's, the workers often don't know and don't care. And that kind of just, breaks my heart. I'm like, oh, painful to hear this. And
I've seen, I mean, I used to live in a place where there was no garbage pickup and you had to take your stuff to the municipal dump and you would sort all your, like paper products and stuff into one dumpster. And I remember one time I went there and I could see in the dumpster tons of rare books in the dumpster. And
wow.
And I was like basically using like broomsticks to try to like fish them out. And I got some. And basically it was like, they said, oh, some guy, like he cleaned out his mom's house after she died. And people do that all the time.
I was going to say the best place to find some of these rare books are at estate sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, especially because young people don't want, they don't read and they're certainly not going to read like their parents' old books. Yeah.
Thrift stores where you go. So like, for example,
that too.
So I've got this one, reading it. Must read. Highly recommend it.
Let's see that again. That one.
Yeah. So this one, Rape of Nanking.
The Rape of Nanking.
John Rabe is an absolute hero. The fact that most people don't know who he is a disgrace. I'm reading this for the 4th time.
Nice.
So, it's always new stuff.
Robbie, Ted is making you commie.
Well, we already know that. That's already been established. Did you hear about the test?
And then,
yes.
I'm about 3/4 of the way through with this.
Wait, you're multi-reading? Like,
I do that.
Books?
Yeah, I always read like 3-4 books at once. Yeah.
And as we're doing the show, I'm training Fang. She's getting a 6,000 question test as we speak.
Well, this is not what's happening at the Amazon facility.
That's 5,999 questions more than Trump can answer.
No, they're being lazy.
Sad.
Just all they got to do.
They're gutting the books, and like I feel like you can donate them. Like there are scanners. There are scanners that I know maybe not at scale the way they want it, but there are obviously scanners that you can manually do without tearing apart a book, without tearing.
I guess you know what? Honestly, I gotta say, to me, maybe it needs to be a case by case basis, Manila. It's like, look, if a book was mass produced and there are, hundreds of thousands
like a
of
Dr.
copies out
Seuss
there,
book.
well, like the Rape of Nanking is not a rare book. Okay, it was it was a bestseller. It was widely disseminated. You can take that book and chop it up and scan it and feed it through a scanner at Amazon.
Sure.
As long as they're paying the estate of Iris Chang, I'm fine with it. But a first edition that is, not a first edition, a rare book, a book that is like, there just aren't a lot of known copies.
A bunch.
That's different. That should be handled differently.
Yeah, but they're not looking. That's what this article says. Is like somebody at a higher level is making the decision to hunt down that book.
By the way, this reminds me a lot of.
It goes to Vegas.
I forget the guy's name. I read an article about it, but this dude, he read that, like, you know how public libraries used to have bound editions of print newspapers.
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh, there's the Akron Beacon Journal from 1938. And then here's the Akron Beacon Journal for 1939. Anyway, when libraries moved to digitize their collections, either on microfiche or then later on
the
scanning.
film. You remember the film?
Yes, microfiche.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called
I remember
microfiche.
using those.
And they moved on to digitizing and scanning. The dumpsters outside of libraries all over the country were filled with these bound editions because they basically tossed
Wow.
them all. And this one dude who was a huge aficionado of comic strips and particularly Sunday comics, he got into a truck and drove all over the United States asking libraries that were going to do this to not to give them to him instead rather than throw them away. And he was basically working to create a huge library of like these comics that like otherwise would be completely lost to the mists of time. And I mean,
Wow.
it's like there are people. There's so much cultural destruction taking place all the time through stuff like this. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest mistakes is like telling people like, oh, like, oh, everything's online. Like that's not true. Most
Not true.
movies you can think of are not watchable online. Most things that were on CD never made it to MP3
Digital.
to
Yeah.
Spotify. Most things that were on CD, that were on LP, never made it to CD. Most things that were on 78 never made it to LP, and so on and so on and so on. Most things that were on wax cylinders never made it to 78s. It just, I mean, the cultural destruction is rampant, and stuff that's on. And then there's the issue of digital rot, right? Which is that when you store data on a magnetic device like a hard drive or even a CDR, it rots, and unlike it degrades. So unlike
it glitches out, as the
it
kids
glitches
say.
out. But the thing is, so here's the thing: what's really counterintuitive is like digital media is binary in the sense that it either works perfectly or it doesn't work at all, right? So if you have a scratch on a DVD, it just doesn't play. So like, whereas like, let's say you had an old fashioned, 33. Well, I mean, a scratch on the record, it'll bounce, but most of it'll play. It's like on paper, if you have a book that, let's say, had a worm in it that's 500 years old, you can still read most of it. But like if you have that same file, you digitize that file and it's corrupted, even like one bit is corrupted, the whole book is fucked. So digital media is far more fraught and dangerous for storing anything we care about.
Yeah. So I agree with Ted. It just a little piece of me hurts when I hear that anyone destroys any books. Like I don't care what the book is. It's just a part of me is kind of like, oh,
Yeah, it's not good.
like some kid somewhere out there in the world would love to have something to read, something to look at, something to learn from, and to know that Amazon, the irony, I was an early adopter of Amazon, like I think 1998, 1999, buying looking for used books, like for college, used books from Amazon when they were only that, and buying a protractor and a ruler and whatever, like odds and ends, right, for college. And fast forward to here we are. Amazon is now destroying the books. So, the irony's not lost on me. All right. So DOJ now says U.S. troops can make arrests in militarized border zones. This is a Robbie story all day long. The U.S. military's role at the southern border just moved another step beyond observation and support. A new DOJ legal opinion says troops can arrest civilians who trespass into designated national defense areas along the border, and in some cases, pursue and arrest them outside of those zones. That sounds like ordinary police work. Normally, that's exactly where the Posse Comitatus Act enters the picture. Passed in 1878, the law generally prohibits using the Army and other federal military forces to execute civilian law. Its basic purpose is straightforward. The military is not supposed to function as America's domestic police force, but there are exceptions. The Justice Department says one applies because President Trump has placed 6 stretches of federal land in California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas under military control and calling them National Defense Areas, NDAs. Once designated as military installations, troops have longstanding authority to protect them and maintain order and detain trespassers. The DOJ also points to federal law allowing specially designated military personnel to make arrests when protecting these Defense Department properties. Those detainees must then be transferred to civilian authorities rather than be held in military confinement. The new opinion from the DOJ goes further. If someone allegedly commits an offense inside one of these zones and crosses back outside before the troops catch them, military personnel can pursue them into the immediate vicinity to make the arrest. Now, they don't really define what immediate vicinity means, if it's like 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 10 miles. They don't know. DOJ insists that this does not give troops carte blanche to enforce civilian law generally. The authority is tied specifically to protecting military property and alleged offenses originating inside those areas. Critics, including the ACLU, have raised another problem. Some of these defense zones are simply large stretches of open borderland with limited signage, potentially exposing migrants or even U.S. citizens to trespassing charges that they may not realize they're committing. So posse comitatus still exists. The government has simply drawn a military boundary across parts of the border and changed what troops can legally do inside it. So, Robbie, what do you think? This is like your
I would like to
passion
also, just before Robbie answers,
passion
just
topic.
like also point out the fact that these zones have now been radically expanded under the Trump administration to include between a third and a half of the entire U.S.-Mexico border. So basically they're claiming like, oh, this is a military installation, but it ain't nothing. It's just scrub along the border.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. But this is where posse comitatus comes into play. Do you think that's right for use, Robbie? Like, I obviously, because he's getting the border wall issue hammered out, it hasn't been built. So, and we know
it's never going to be built. The dude's already had 6 years to do it, and he hasn't done shit.
No, what we need to do is that we need to militarize the border.
Well, that's what he's
That's
doing.
what he's
That's
doing.
effectively what's happening.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So you agree with it?
yeah, well, here's the thing. Most people don't realize this. Like, the U.S. Army was stationed permanently on the U.S.-Mexico border until like the 1930s. Now, if you're going through, I say from 1850 up to 1930, if you're in the Army, if you're going through the officer corps, you served on the Mexican border. I mean, that's a statement of fact. Now, Mexico has always been regarded as a hostile neighbor. It's like 15 minutes ago. I mean, that's just a statement of fact. Pershing served on the Mexican border. Famously, he invaded Mexico chasing Pasha Villa whenever he raided Arizona. MacArthur served on the border. If you're in the U.S. Army, you served on the Mexican Army. It was on the Mexican border. It was a militarized border. The only reason that we've changed that now is because, oh, well, that's racist. It's not racist. We've always had a problem with this long, porous border with people going back and forth. Either you have a border or you don't. Now, what Trump is doing is that he's trying to use the U.S. Army to police U.S. citizens. That's the issue. If they catch someone that's trespassing, they should call the county sheriff, whether there's whatever county is that you happen to be in, turn you over to civil authorities, and you're done with it. The army is not a police force. So just as another example of Trump doing the right thing the wrong way. If anything, he should close every NATO base in Europe.
Based on this,
bring those 200,000 troops on the border, put them on the border, say if you come across, we will shoot you because you're an invader, and call it a day.
Based on this, Trump is saying they can make the arrest, but they have to turn them over to civilian authorities. They can't detain them. They can grab them, they can arrest them, but then they have to give them to local sheriffs or police or whatever in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. The whole issue is just no pursuing. For how long? For how far? What is the Army's range of? Yeah, but what does that mean?
They haven't defined it. That's what's scary. And as somebody that has lived at or very, very near to the border at Yuma, Arizona, where I
Mhm.
was working at CBS, um, it I can see very easily how you're going for a hike or whatever and, just going walking off trails and going to look at the beautiful rock formations along the border, and whoops, you walk into there's no signs. This area Trump has now declared as a military installation, and I get arrested too. I get harassed. I get like, dude, I'm just wandering through the desert. Like, that's not illegal. Like, but now it is.
It's just another example of Trump doing the right thing the wrong way. I mean, seriously, the borders should be militarized. It really should be because take Vietnam for example. In 10 years, well, Vietnam lasted what, 8 years? In 8 years of war, 75,000 Americans died in Vietnam. Every single year in the United States, somewhere between 60 to 90,000 Americans die over fentanyl overdoses. The majority of that fentanyl comes across the southern border.
Yeah.
So it would serve to reason that if that is an issue, and it is, then you militarize the border. The human trafficking, a lot of it comes across the southern border. None of this is
Yeah.
controversial. You're not supposed to say it because it's racist. It's not racist, it's factual. And so if you share a border with a narco state, then you secure the border. And if someone's trying to smuggle people across, just smuggling across poison, you send them to meet Jesus. You call it a day. And then you let President Eisenbaum know, hey, if this keeps happening, we will go across the border. We will take care of the problem you're unable to take care of. We'll do,
Johnny Scheinbaum.
yeah, we'll do what Blackjack Pershing did. We'll go in, we'll solve your problem for you, then we'll go home.
So you think we should militarize our
Oh
border
God, yes,
because
absolutely,
you deem it as an invasion. That's
because
how
it
you view
is.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
regardless of how you view it, is not untrue that like countries around the world have, I would say, a very mixed approach to border protection. A lot of countries have, the way we do, a separate border patrol. A lot of countries have troops guarding their borders. I mean, there's both approaches are widespread, and you can kind of, I mean, I don't think there's a I don't think, having troops guarding a national border is not an unusual thing, I guess is my
Yeah.
point. I mean, Russia does it, China does it.
it's the norm.
It's not unusual. However,
No,
it's not the only way to do it, but I mean, it's not weird.
Yeah.
well, it depends. It depends on where you are. Like, no, for example, Poland does it. No, Poland famously is criticized by the EU all the time for letting migrants flood in across the borders. Same way with Hungary. It's like, no, this is Hungary or this is Poland. You
Well, the
don't get to you
Hungarians are
don't get to come here.
serious about their border, like
Oh, I know.
really serious.
It's because they're real countries. Whereas with here, it's just like, oh, you have to be kinder and gentler. Don't you know that you're just coming in for a better life, gringo? Sit down and shut up. In which
Share the
case,
land.
I say, sit on a cactus and rotate.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for the donation. Peter says on the previous topic, Ted, the Providence Public Library got rid of the abridged version of Tony B's study of history while I was partway through reading it. That sucks. Do they do that? Like what? How do they get rid of? How do they get rid of it? You mean reading it at the library without
don't know.
checking it out?
I don't know,
Maybe-
maybe it needed to be renewed or something.
Yes,
You know how
it
sometimes
hadn't
you're not
finished.
done reading something, you have to return it and then
Yeah,
check it
but
back out a couple of
I
days
mean,
later.
if it's in your possession, you can extend your
A
checkout.
lot of books have to be returned, and then you have
Really?
in case someone's been waiting for it, you can't just constantly renew it.
Oh. I remember my library had like a 3. It was like usually you can borrow the books for like 2 weeks or something or 3 weeks, and then you can go up to 3 extensions. But that's it. But it wasn't like, oh, you give it back to us. We got to give it to the other person on the wait list, and you can have it back. It wasn't like that. It was just like, okay, you can get up to 2 more extensions, and then you got to be done, buddy. So,
Got it.
oh, that sucks. Well,
Yeah,
well,
but one
I don't-
thing I'll say about this, and I'll go away. The hypocrisy that our government has is outstanding because, well, it's true that the Mexicans have brought in all of this Chinese manufactured fentanyl, And that's true. The Sagler family destroyed Appalachia with their oxycodone. They are the ones that kicked off this whole problem to begin with, and not one member of that family has ever been held accountable.
No, of course. The Sacklers have, well, I don't know about these days, but around Washington D.C., you could see the Sackler name. Um, they donated like buildings and shit, right? Like, so it would say, a gift from the Sackler family or whatever, all over their philanthropy arm. So if you're rich enough, you can avoid jail time. Hello, Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last topic.
A suspicious object left outside a Washington firehouse shut down morning rush hour traffic and prompted a response from the bomb squad. The cops were called into the station of DC Fire and EMS Engine 20. That's on Wisconsin Avenue in the Tenleytown neighborhood at about 7 in the morning on Wednesday on report of a suspicious electronic device with exposed wires outside the building. The person who left it outside the building had reportedly spoken to an employee just before he tossed it and left it.
No, that's not he, Ted. It could be a she. We don't know.
Okay, good point. Traffic was shut down in the area, causing delays to the morning rush, while the police explosive ordnance disposal unit investigated it. A police report identified it as an electronic sex portable pump device.
I don't even know what that is. What's a portable pump device?
The scene was cleared at about 9 in the morning.
But the person,
come on, you know what that is.
The person who left the device has not been identified. So a couple of questions here. Like, what's a portable pump device? Like, the only pumping device I had was like my breast pump. But I don't think that's what we're talking about here. I don't think that's a sex.
No, because that's not a sex thing.
I mean, I don't know. People like weird things. Like maybe that's a sex thing for somebody. But for me, I remember using a breast pump.
So this is for your penis. I mean, maybe not for your penis, but for my penis. But not my penis because I don't have one. I mean, I have a penis. I have a penis, but I don't have a pump. But the day's young. I might have one by later today.
So
it's a pump that is supposed to cause you to get an erection.
It's an assistant.
Correct. Exactly. It's an assistant.
Oh, okay. So basically,
look, Manila. It's mainly for a man's dignity, so that a woman is sort of think, oh, I don't know if this guy is classy enough for me, but then once she sees him go,
but it's electric.
Like, ooh la la.
Okay, so it's electric. So here's where the story confuses me, because this is funny to me because it's not far from where I live. So it snarls traffic, right? Anyone that lives in the DC area, Tenleytown fucking sucks at 7, 8. Like, are you kidding? At morning rush hour? So they shut down the whole neighborhood because of this, what they think
gift
is a bomb
to the fire department.
Right. So, but if the person was talking, if they know that the person was talking to an employee, how is it that they're not able to identify the person that left this gift?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I mean, they talk to them. They presumably have them on camera, but they don't know who they are.
And then they just placed the thing down.
And they were like, here you go.
So in my mind, when I read the article, I was like, an electronic pump. I didn't have a chance to look it up. And I was thinking, I didn't know. I was like, what do you do with the pump? Anyway, and it was late. So I was like, I gotta go, but this is a funny story. And I thought, I'm thinking more like leaving them a bag of dicks or something. Like there was literally like a bag of dildos, or I was like, maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. I don't know what men use to,
so a penis
arousal.
pump uses I'm looking this up now, uses
Electric.
a vacuum pump to pull blood into the penis to either get or maintain an erection.
Hence why dudes would get their junk stuck.
By the way, there are important safety rules, Manila. So next time you or a loved one asks you, take the rubber ring off after 30 minutes at most. Leaving the ring on for too long, so it's like a cock ring thing, can harm the tissue. And rest for an hour between uses.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, so
what are you?
second,
I mean, I want
secondly,
to know what animal's using this 24 hours a day. But all right,
secondly,
if you're
Ted,
fucking
why?
24 times a day, you don't need a penis pump.
Secondly,
You've already got it covered.
secondly, why would they? Why are they carrying this thing around to go to visit somebody at the firehouse
Oh, no
and
one
then
knows.
leaving it there
No one knows.
at 7 a.m?
No one knows. Well, you think this is like would be more appropriate for 10 a.m.?
Maybe it's a
No,
gag
this is
gift.
During
like
the TMI,
it's
that
a
person has
gag
to be
gift.
home to
Yeah,
listen to the TMI show.
It could be a gag gift.
it could be. I mean, you're leaving it at a firehouse full of dudes. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it was
I
a
don't know.
gift to the fire department, like, or maybe they thought they could use it to put out fires.
I mean, because you guys are away from your wives and girlfriends for a few days at a time. Here you go. You guys
A little
can all
help.
enjoy this.
When I worked at Logan Health, I once got in trouble because we were doing a white elephant a Christmas exchange gift. So uh, I brought in a small gift bag with some warming lube and some other things, and
Robbie,
it got passed around, and it was just and I got sent to HR because I was highly inappropriate. However, it was for the
That's the definition of you.
it was for the labor and delivery department. So they deal with this
wow.
every single day. Like your
Wow.
business is making babies. So I'm just helping you just to get those numbers up, But like,
Well, that's kind of
it's like,
funny
it's like,
for
Mr.
them.
West,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that was inappropriate. Do you understand why that could be considered offensive? It's like, no, not at all. Why is sex so offensive to you?
Since this is a local news story to me, I'm curious to see. You should have seen the news anchor who was reading this, Ted. Her face when she was like, was a sex toy. She was so uncomfortable saying this on local news, right? So I'm like,
I mean, obviously it's hilarious.
so I'm waiting. I'm going to see if they do ever find this person, if this person gets charged with anything, because what do you get charged with? Like, why do they want to identify this person? What do you charge this person with? Littering? Like,
Yeah, I don't know if maybe if you can make an argument that they thought it would be construed as a possible dangerous device, then there could be charges. But I mean, the person could easily say, "Hey, I didn't know that they would take it that way."
Listen,
the person could say, I just set it down. I forgot. I ran to catch my bus.
when I worked in the emergency room, I've told you all this story before. We had a guy who came in by EMS because his penis got degloved because he stuck it in a vacuum cleaner, and it just peeled the meat right on off, just rolled it.
Oh, my
And so, all things
I'm
considered,
cringing,
no,
crossing my legs.
I mean, the pump would be, that's not dangerous unless you leave it on there for like over an hour. Just don't stick your dick in a vacuum cleaner because it has happened. I've seen it.
He was aiming for that effect, I suppose.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what he wanted. He stuck his dick in the vacuum cleaner, just trying to simulate a blow job, and ended up degloving his penis.
I don't know who he's used to getting blowjobs from.
Oh my god!
Come on in, Thomas. You want to hear? Come here, boy. You say my son's over here. Just like, come here. Come on. You've seen this before. Come on.
Hello,
Come
everybody.
Look,
Hi,
he
Thomas.
exists. Bend over. But yes, get to the shot, you dick. Right there. There you
Say
go.
hi to everybody.
But no, he got degloved. I mean, he stuck his dick in the vacuum cleaner, and it just rolled the meat right on off.
I'm like,
And
was he uncircumcised?
yeah, he wasn't circumcised. It just,
He
just
became
rolled.
circumcised as a result of this incident.
Oh
It
my
did because the
God.
foreskin got removed. Like it got sucked off.
Oh my
Um,
god! How
now,
horrific!
More reasons to get circumcised.
Now, the funniest penis story I ever saw was that this dude he got brought in. He had swallowed a dime bag of drugs, and so naturally you have to get medically cleared before you go to the jail. And so he was just laying there. He was just laying there limp. And more often than not, if you stick a catheter in a guy, he'll wake up. Well, obviously, so
Okay.
because you're sticking a tube into his dick.
You're poking. Yeah.
This dude took it like a champ, didn't flinch. I mean, it was just that's impressive. So we stuck him in trauma room 1, left the catheter in, and catheters what they stay in is that there's a balloon that blows up. It's about the size of your fist, and so that stays on the other side of the urethra. Well, this guy obviously did not know that. So like an hour later, he got up out of the bed and started running. Well, when he
because
hit the end of,
the drugs.
so then once he
Like
hit
28 days later, I'm out of here.
and then what happens is that once you reach the length of your tether, it snatched that balloon out. It split his penis open like 6 different pieces, like a weenie. It just filleted it open.
Oh my God.
This dude screamed. He is now a eunuch. I mean, he castrated himself.
Oh, so he works at the DNC now.
He destroyed his penis, and he probably works for the Democratic National Convention. Yes.
Oh, my,
You
I
see
can't believe
you see all
in
kinds
your
of penis
little
stuff.
town, in your little town
Well,
at
this
the
is
main
well, this is
hospital.
You got super excitement there.
well, this
Yeah.
is in Pensacola. Well, this is in Pensacola. The
Oh,
guy,
well, Florida man. Okay, that makes more
yeah,
sense.
Florida Panhandle, of course.
Oh, of course. Okay, that makes more sense. That's
Yeah,
okay.
so this is a Baptist hospital on E Street. Is because
They
just
must
recently
see
just
so much
relocated.
wild shit. They really
This
must.
is oh God.
It is insane. Like I saw a guy who's trying to get off, and he tried sticking a bottle of a can of those little plastic canisters of deodorant up his rectum just to try to sever his prostate. Well, the problem is the plastic ruptured; it just shattered. So all these shards of plastic just were all in his anus, just ripped him apart. And you see some stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Between
there you
drugs
go.
and low IQ, you're going to see a lot of things.
But I'll tell you what,
good Lord.
the dude that took that catheter, I mean, he did not
That
flinch.
takes the cake.
God,
Oh,
God bless
God,
him. Now he flinched when he ripped his dick off.
God. Oh,
That was
God.
that was amazing.
Oh God. Well,
he was
I think
screaming.
whoever the mystery person was that left this device outside of the Tenleytown firehouse was trying to make a donation to help the boys at the firehouse, so they can avoid things like that. Yeah, that's what I think. But now there's like a manhunt underway to find this person, because obviously it caused a bomb squad response and whatever. So it was a big deal in little old DC here, because we don't have those stories, Robbie. So.
I think I'm on board with Exile the Knights of Malta now. It's possible that the person was walking along the road and found the penis vacuum and didn't know what it was, and was like, maybe they can figure out what it is at the firehouse. I think that's probably I would give that at least a 40% possibility. Yeah,
could be. I mean, I don't think.
And there you are, like, oh, I didn't mean you to call the bomb squad. I didn't want to fuck up rush hour traffic. I just found this thing and I thought, hey, I'll turn it into the appropriate authorities.
Listen, a vacuum is much more dangerous than a.
Well, this device is made for that, Robbie. So
I understand.
It's meant to be gentle, sort of, I think, right? According to Ted.
And loving and sweet.
It's a gentle, loving sucking machine, apparently. I didn't know that. Right. I've heard of the manual ones. I didn't know that they had a whole vacuum effect. So there you go. So now you learned something new.
Yeah.
Have a good Tuesday, guys.
Yeah. We'll be rating into Putin Bot Gaming after this.
Okay, stay tuned. Help Robbie out. Drop a chat, because Robbie needs a few more chatters.
I need 32 of them before the first. So
all right, there you go. We'll get there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye.
Bye, y'all.